Hi, everyone. I'm here again with Brian Sanchez. He is at our studio in Carson City, our Fitness for 10 studio. Thanks for being with us, Brian.
Great to be here, Steve. Love joining in and having these conversations, brother.
Well, we're having fun. A couple of old guys having fun with some supplementation, some TRT. If you guys have seen, you can go back and look at some of the other videos. We're both on TRT. Brian's on like twice as much as me. But they're calling this your six month checkup. Give us a quick update, and I can talk a little bit about what's going on with me. And so, what's your big update?
All right. Okay. So again, for those of you, if you haven't taken a look at the 4 or 5 videos that we did from the beginning of my journey this past winter, I use a private doctor through a company in Reno, and I use my general practitioner, and I share information, so I keep everything in the open for both these guys, so I can keep eyes on my program. That makes me feel better about doing it. It's just an idea if you're interested. Really quick, testosterone has changed me. Not in the sense of what I used to think about it back, 15, 20 years ago as an enhancement for bodybuilding. I'm talking about the mental clarity that I have in my life. I was diagnosed in the past, and I've been pretty open with this, about anxiety disorders, depression. I also, in the past, was an extremely heavy drinker. I had a big problem with drinking, and I had knocked that out of my life about a decade ago. And I've also removed myself from all the medications that I was taking through these programs that was managing and controlling the anxiety, depression side of life for me. I am currently on no prescribed medications in that realm. The prescriptions I'm taking now are strictly related to TRT. Testosterone has changed the clarity in my day. It provides me with a level of content, in a sense, that I'm not anxious at all. I'm not having depressions. I'm not having mood swings. I'm not scared to walk out my front door to face my day at all. And like I said months ago, if that's all I get from all of this, it's worth every penny I've invested into my health to have success in this program, because it makes me a better member of my family. It makes me a better husband. It makes me a better father. It makes me a better friend, because things in this world don't upset me right now, because this is helping me in that sense. So just for that, if you're struggling with those types of issues, take a look at it, see if it's right for you. Now, positive sides, things that I didn't expect, Steve, that you and I have talked about, are in my workouts. So I'm a former power lifter, if you haven't paid attention to it. And I got really big. Last winter, I was pushing the 290, or just between 290, 295 zone, and in pounds for my body. And I'm 5'7", 5'8", somewhere in that zone. And so I didn't necessarily change my approach in the sense of working out. I'm still down at our facilities 5 days a week doing my own workouts, but my workouts have changed a bit. I've moved away from powerlifting. I've changed that philosophy, and I'm going into more traditional exercise programs that are beneficial to changing the structure of my body. We want to make me smaller, and so structurally, my body has changed. Now, I'm not going to say I've lost a ton more weight in the last 2 months, but I will tell you this. My clothes fit different. My shoulders have volumized. My back has volumized. And I'm doing lighter weights. I would say hypertrophy style lifting, so I would expect a little bit of volumizing, but not like what's happened now. And I'm starting to notice the changes myself, and also my family is as well. When it comes to the intensity of what I can do through my day, my workouts are at a level right now that I've never experienced, because I have stamina that I haven't had for probably 15, 20 years. In other words, I get up, I get down here, I'm up at 4, I'm down here, I'm working out by 5. I crush myself in a nice workout. I leave the workout, and then I go to work part-time in a masonry yard before I come down here and talk to Steve. So I'm throwing stone and throwing bags of cement, doing all kinds of fun things like that, staying physical for the first 4 and 5 hours of my day. Then I go do my other stuff, like the gym, where I work with people, or work with my grandkids and hang out with my kids. Everything in life has energy now. TRT has changed me for the better. Now, really important, I'm working with a doctor, so I'm checking my bloods regularly. We're making sure that my bloods aren't thickening. We're readjusting my doses now. We're going to drop my dose as of this week. I start a lesser dose, and I think that's going to be progressive through the next 6 months. But I will have another appointment with my doctor through the next quarter, and then a final at the end of the year where we will update you. We won't be doing as many of these, but I will update you in those quarters so that you can see my progress. With that, all I can say is, if you haven't looked into this, please, all you guys out there and all you ladies out there who are over 40, and especially if you're over 50, take a chance, roll the dice, see what it can do for you. If you feel as good as I feel, it's worth every penny invested. Steve?
Yeah. And you know what? You've got to work with a specialist who is an expert, who has done this. Very important. My wife, going through the process right now, her free testosterone, we looked at the last couple of tests, because she hasn't really started yet, and the person she's working with is not probably giving her enough. Her free testosterone, yeah, her total testosterone is normal, but her free testosterone was 0.7 and then 0.3. That's 0. That is very unhealthy, and that needs to come up. And you've got to work with a doctor that, your total, it's fine, don't worry. No, that is not fine. She needs to get that up. And we're working on that now. So the testing is really important, and working with someone who's going to listen to you and listen to symptoms. Because, I played football when I was younger, at the collegiate level. And I know back in the 80s, the early 80s, some of these guys I was playing football with, their baseline for total testosterone, I'll bet you it was in the 1500s. These NFL players now, they're not on gear, but these guys are specimens. Their testosterone's 1500, 1800. So one of my buddies goes and gets his testosterone checked, and it's 550. Well, wow, that's more than the average for a 25-year-old. So what? What's his baseline? And a lot of men my age, you don't know what your baseline is. So what are your symptoms? You need to be able to work through this with a doctor who's going to listen to you and be smart and tell them about your history. If you're someone, like I know a couple of my buddies had to have, and probably me too, was probably, high natural testosterone. So just because you get tested and your testosterone's 400 and they say, you're all good, you might not be. You might not be. You might be at 700. That might not be. Because what's your baseline? It might be twice that.
That's really interesting you say that, because we've worked hard in my testing and in my program to get me up to those levels where those athletes are, so that my body would have a chance to adjust. You don't know it, guys, until you try this. Mine was just over 300 when I got my test. Now, my regular doctor wouldn't prescribe anything at 300 because, based on the insurance companies, and this is my opinion, I'm not an expert, based on the insurance companies, they're not going to cover that kind of stuff when it's not under a certain amount. So a lot of the times, in my opinion, the general practitioner's hands are tied. It is absolutely important that you speak to a specialist who specializes in this. Now, you might come out of pocket for it, but hey, it's worth it. You can do some things like I did working with my general practitioner to cut costs if you're worried about the costs. So I shared the information from my age management doctor with my general practitioner. So we got better pricing on my blood testing and things like that, because it was stuff I had to do anyways. We're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. This is general stuff that you have to get tested. You just have to take that information to the specialist if it's recent enough, and they can use your complete blood testing system that you do every year to the advantage of getting you on these programs. They work, they're healthy, they're safe, but you have to monitor it. That's where the specialist comes in.
Everyone's different, and you have to, everyone's different. And, hopefully we'll have some partnerships with some clinics that are doing TRT that we can refer you to in the future. I think we're getting close to that. But for me, my dose is less than half of what Brian's is. And 100 milligrams a week, I take the microdoses, but 100 milligrams a week, which is a low dose, puts me at the top end of the total T. It puts me at the top end easy, even maybe outside the top of it. So everyone's different. You need to articulate to your physician how you're feeling, and you're going to need to work with a specialist, someone who does this on a regular basis. So we'll have more. We're going to be talking about some other supplements and products and peptides and stuff that we're going to be trying, and that's going to be fun. But stay posted for more TRT information, and we're getting ready. We're not yet, but we'll be telling you where we get our prescriptions and subscriptions. What is it? Anyway, you get it monthly. It's a prescription, but
right. I mean, we use private entities, so we do need their permission to use their names. So we'll get that information out.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for your input again, Brian. And we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Let's change the world. Let's do it together. Thanks, Steve.
All right.